Have you ever found yourself agreeing to something that, deep down, you didn't want to do? Perhaps you agreed to help someone when your body was asking for rest, or you took on a project that drained your energy and time. The feelings of guilt, frustration, or even anger that arise in these situations aren't just temporary annoyances. They're a direct consequence of our difficulty in saying no. The simple act of refusing, of setting clear boundaries, can be one of the most transformative skills for our mental health, emotional well-being, and life balance. Saying no is, in fact, a form of self-awareness, a powerful tool to understand who we are, what we need, and what we can no longer accept in our lives. Now, you might be asking yourself, but how can that be? Saying no is such a simple thing. Why can't I do it? The answer lies in our society, which often values sacrifice and the constant need to please others. From an early age, we're taught to avoid conflict, to be good people, and to not disappoint those around us. The idea that we must always be available, helpful, and pleasant creates immense internal pressure. And it's this pressure that prevents us from setting what we call healthy boundaries. Behind this difficulty in saying no, there's a deeply ingrained belief that our acceptance and availability are the foundation of being loved and respected. We're conditioned to think that if we say no, we might be seen as selfish, arrogant, or even rude. But the reality is quite different. By saying yes all the time, you end up putting yourself second, sacrificing your health and balance for something that has nothing to do with you. The truth is, by not knowing how to say no, you are saying yes to everything that could overload your mind and body. You're allowing others to take up your time, your energy, and, often, your emotional health. And, in doing so, you place yourself in a vulnerable position. The overload of responsibilities, unnecessary commitments, and lack of space for yourself become routine. Your mental health starts to suffer from the effects of these lack of boundaries, and you find yourself increasingly disconnected from who you truly are and what you want out of life. Slowly, stress takes over, anxiety increases, and, in many cases, the frustration of not being able to put an end to so many other people's requests transforms into a burden that becomes harder and harder to carry. This dynamic of constant yes is a trap. You believe you're being a good person, a committed and helpful person, but deep down, you're losing sight of yourself. And as you keep yielding to others, you drift further from what really matters, taking care of yourself. And this isn't selfish. On the contrary, it's self-care. When you say no, you're allowing yourself to be authentic, you're prioritizing yourself in your own life. And it's precisely from this place of self-respect that you become capable of contributing genuinely and healthfully to the world around you. However, because of the stigma associated with the word no, many people feel enormous guilt when turning down a request or not meeting an expectation, even if that refusal is necessary to preserve their own peace. Guilt is one of the biggest saboteurs in the process of learning to say no. Many people believe that by refusing a demand, they're hurting the feelings of the person who asked for help or disappointing someone. But the truth is, if you don't learn to say no, the first person who will be disappointed is you. The emotional and mental overload caused by the inability to set boundaries not only affects your physical and emotional health, but also impacts your relationships, your productivity, and even your self-esteem. When you say no in a firm yet respectful manner, you're not rejecting the person, but the request or task that isn't compatible with your own limits or goals at that moment. And it's this ability to assert yourself and set healthy boundaries that will allow you to regain control of your life and emotional health. It's not about being rude, insensitive, or selfish. It's about establishing a healthy balance between your needs and the needs of others. When you learn to say no assertively, you create space for what truly matters to you, for what aligns with your values and priorities. And by doing so, you also teach others to respect your time and energy. The impact of knowing how to say no goes far beyond simply avoiding unwanted tasks or commitments. By setting boundaries, you start to experience a sense of relief, control, and empowerment. You realize that your life begins to be more your own, more focused on the things that truly make sense and bring value to you. The small victories you achieve by setting these boundaries begin to have a ripple effect. The time you gain for yourself translates into more rest, greater mental clarity, and more energy for the activities that really matter. Your stress level decreases, your productivity increases, and consequently, your mental health strengthens. And by learning to say no, you also start to live more authentically. There's no longer any need to hide your true feelings. No space left for the fear of disappointing others. From the moment you decide to respect your own limits, you become more honest with yourself and with others. You become more selective about the commitments and tasks you take on, and this directly reflects the quality of your work and relationships. You only engage in what truly resonates with you, and this leads to greater satisfaction in all areas of your life. Saying no also brings with it a significant boost to your self-esteem. The practice of setting boundaries and respecting your own needs reinforces your confidence in your decisions and choices. When you learn to prioritize your mental health, peace of mind, and well-being, you become less susceptible to external pressures and more capable of acting in alignment with your own convictions and intentions. By asserting your boundaries, you reinforce the belief that you deserve to be respected and that your needs are just as important as others. Assertive communication, which is one of the keys to being able to say no without guilt, is something that can be learned and perfected. It's not about being rude or aggressive, but about being clear and firm about your boundaries. A simple, direct, and polite response can be more than enough. You can be honest and kind at the same time, showing the other person that, while you understand their request or need, you simply cannot fulfill it at that moment. A response such as, "Unfortunately, I can't help right now because I have other commitments," or "I wish I could do this, but at the moment I'm unable to," shows respect for the other person and for yourself. This ability to say no is essential for creating a balanced and healthy life, in which you can dedicate yourself to what truly matters. By learning to say no, you not only improve your mental and emotional health, but you also allow yourself to live more authentically and in alignment with your goals and desires. There is no greater gift you can give yourself than the right to say no when needed, to put yourself first, and to set the boundaries that protect your inner peace. And as you practice this behavior, you'll begin to notice a significant shift in how you feel, how you see yourself, and how others respect you. The simple act of saying no will shape a more balanced, more conscious, and more fulfilling life. This is not selfishness. It's an essential step towards self-care and strengthening your mental health. When you learn to say no, you are not just protecting yourself, but also creating a healthier and more respectful space for those around you. So, the next time you feel the pressure to say yes, remember that you have every right to say no, and by doing so, you'll be taking care of your mental health, promoting respect for your own boundaries, and living a fuller, happier life.